it's my real pleasure to introduce Lauren Thor, who I was able to see her talk one time before. She's a member of the San Francisco Bay Area Postcard Club, as well as being a member of our club. And
Hi.
it was an
Yeah.
interesting meeting. And so I hope that you'll enjoy seeing her talk tonight. So without further ado, let's do it.
Okay, thank you. Today I'm going to be talking about good luck symbols and rituals on postcards. I collect greeting cards, and early on in my collecting searches, I noticed there were a lot of postcards that expressed the salutations of good luck. These postcards were usually illustrated with various good luck symbols and talismans, and many of the symbols were familiar to me, but some were not. And good luck symbols also appeared on greeting cards for specific occasions and holidays, like this birthday card and this Valentine's Day card. So good luck was also the unwritten message incorporated into a lot of cards. But why were good luck symbols so popular? Obviously, they were icons that would be familiar to many cultures, so they transcended language and appealed to a broad market. Could it be a mere convenience for the illustrator? Were the illustrations giving a nostalgic nod to folkloric traditions? Or were people superstitious? Did they believe in a magical force that could intervene in their lives? I also wondered how these symbols came to be associated with luck in the first place. So this motivated me to do some research to find out, and that's what's led to this program today. Some of the folklore I've come across has been both surprising and entertaining. The horseshoe is one of the most recognizable symbols of good luck, and the best known legend that I found as to why it's a good luck symbol is the story of Saint Dunstan. So in the 10th century, Saint Dunstan, a blacksmith, was asked by the devil, who was in disguise, to make a horseshoe for him. When Saint Dunstan saw his cloven hoof, he realized he was the devil, so he nailed a red hot horseshoe to his hoof, and the devil, in extreme pain, begged for it to be removed. Saint Dunstan agreed under the condition that the devil would never enter a place where a horseshoe was hung. And this illustration here actually shows Saint Dunstan pulling on the devil's nose with some hot tongs. So there are a lot of variations on this legend of the horseshoe. But I was looking for an explanation that maybe had a little bit more historic realism rather than a legend. And ancient cultures believed that metal had magical powers, especially iron, due to its unique properties. Iron was magnetic, and it was strong and could be forged into weapons with sharp edges. It was believed it could drive away evil because it could withstand fire. These cherubs in this postcard are shown forging a horseshoe. And so smelting and forging is symbolic for new beginnings and rebirth. Different cultures have different beliefs about the position of the horseshoe concerning its luck. The horseshoe in the up position will keep the luck in and the evil out. And this is a prevalent belief in our cowboy culture. But many postcards show the horseshoe pointing down, suggesting the position does not matter so much in some cultures. And here's a fanciful postcard of some gnomes putting a horseshoe in the down position over a doorway. And so some traditions have the horseshoe hanging in the downward position, and that allows the luck to pour down on the person as they enter the home. Here are two more familiar icons to us, the New Year baby and Father Time. And the New Year baby can be traced back to 600 BC. The Greeks believed Dionysus, their god of fertility and wine, was reborn every new year as a spirit of fertility and luck. They would celebrate with parades featuring a baby in a cradle, symbolizing the rebirth of Dionysus. And this card shows a stork delivering the baby, the New Year baby, and stork delivery postcards were very popular birth announcements during this time. The ancient Egyptians also used a baby to symbolize rebirth, and the child symbolized the birth of the new year and the passing of the old one. The baby was shown in the lap of a bearded old man, and he came to be symbolizing Father Time. The New Year baby is said to age rapidly over the year and become Father Time by December 31st. The New Year baby, in addition to being associated with luck and prosperity, is symbolic for optimism. And the card above shows the New Year baby in one of the latest inventions, a dirigible. The card on the right obviously is symbolic for luck because it's got the card on the left is symbolic for luck because it's got the New Year baby actually playing cards with Father Time. It looks like they're playing poker. And what I find interesting about the card on the right is during this time, the turn of the century, there were a lot of inventions. And so we've got Father Time leaving in a car, which was a relatively new invention. But our New Year baby is showing up in an airship, which was an even later invention. So this shows a time of rapid change. The top-hatted toddler became a popular New Year symbol when the Saturday Evening Post began publishing Joseph Leyendeckers' humorous illustrations of babies on its year-end editions. The baby with the top hat is a reference to the Prohibition cartoon, Mr. Dry. And so on the right, we have one of the Saturday Evening Post covers showing the New Year baby just in his diaper. This one happens to have some wings, which they sometimes were shown as cherubs. The postcard on the left also shows the top-hatted toddler with wings and just a sash and a diaper. And these are indications of and icons for luck. The New Year baby was very popular, and a lot of people started to, at this time, dress up as the New Year baby for New Year parties, and that sometimes ended up with wardrobe malfunctions. So here we have another New Year's card. This is French, and we understand now the symbolism of the baby for the new year, but the rest of the image may be unfamiliar to us in terms of what it might be symbolizing. We see some pigs and also some greenery. Mistletoe is a parasitic plant that grows on several types of common trees, and mistletoe decorates many Christmas and New Year's postcards. Mistletoe has a lot of folklore attached to it, and I'll limit what I found to how it was used on postcards. Mistletoe was considered sacred by many ancient cultures. The Greeks and Romans used it as a cure for a variety of illnesses. And during the winter solstice, the chief druid would collect and distribute the mistletoe. It was hung over doorways to protect against thunder, lightning, and other evils, such as witchcraft. The plant's romantic overtones were likely started with the Celtic druids of the 1st century AD, because mistletoe is an evergreen and will bloom even in the frozen winter. The druids viewed it as a symbol of vivacity and fertility. Probably the best known legend about mistletoe is from Norse mythology. When the god Odin's son Balder dreamed he would die, his mother Frigg, the goddess of love, went to all of the animals and plants to secure an oath that they would not harm him. But mistletoe was overlooked. The scheming god Loki made an arrow from the plant and saw that it was used to kill the otherwise invincible Balder. For 3 days, many attempted to revive Balder without success. The power of Frigg's tears turned the mistletoe berries from red to white, and Balder was resurrected. Overjoyed with her son's resurrection, Frigg reversed the bad reputation of mistletoe, blessed the plant, and declared that mistletoe should bring love, not hate, into the world. And mistletoe's association with fertility continued through the Middle Ages, and by the 18th century, it had become incorporated into Christmas celebrations. How it became part of a kissing tradition is debatable. There are several variations on the custom. In an early version, men were allowed to steal a kiss from the woman caught under the mistletoe, and to refuse was bad luck. It was believed to increase her chances of marriage. The tradition of kissing under the mistletoe was very popular in the 19th century, despite being considered a pagan ritual in the eyes of the church. Many churches banned it from being used as a decoration in the church. And the belief that it had the magical power to bestow fertility, I wonder if that's common knowledge today. Maybe it should come with a warning label. I'm wondering if the young woman on the right is maybe afraid, knows about that, is a little afraid of that. There were many mistletoe depictions on postcards, and they ran the gamut from cute on the left to maybe a little bit creepy on the right. The Druids believed mistletoe resembled sex organs, and so its magical power was to bestow the fertility. In Normandy, mistletoe was hung above the cradle to stop fairies from stealing the baby. And this is a more modern postcard, but I think it is hearkening back to those old belief systems, because we have the couple, obviously they were able to have a baby, and that mistletoe is hanging maybe with the idea of keeping the fairies away from the new baby. Keeping with the fertility beliefs, the ritual of throwing rice at a wedding dates back to ancient Rome, and wheat was thrown at the couple and was symbolic for fertility, wealth, and good luck. The Celts often made offerings to various spirits to appease them, and they believed malevolent spirits would attend weddings to sap the energy off the people present and to jinx the happy couple. And so grain was thrown to distract and appease them. But getting back to mistletoe, mistletoe was believed to be a lucky charm, and midwinter customs in Europe have included sending mistletoe as a plant of peace and good luck. In France, it's called a porte-bonheur. And on the left, we have a man that looks like he's holding a bouquet of mistletoe. And on the right is a postcard by the French illustrator Xavier Sager. And it looks like these women are carrying their porte-bonheur mistletoe, possibly going to be delivering it. And here are two more postcards of people with mistletoe, possibly having just gathered it, or maybe going to be delivering it to friends or neighbors. And here are two postcards that show elephants. And elephants symbolize strength, power, wisdom, and there's a symbol that's most likely borrowed from Asian or Indian culture. And the luck from the elephant is supposed to come from his trunk. And there are different beliefs about whether it's a good luck for the elephant to have his trunk in the up or the down position. In floriography, the language of flowers, which I'll talk about in a minute, mistletoe symbolizes overcoming difficulties. And that might be why we have some mistletoe on the card on the left with the soldier, with the idea that a soldier obviously faces many difficulties, and cards with soldiers on them were sent during World War I. This card is a silk card, and it's French, and it's all united. It's the Allies, and it has a horseshoe. During World War I, it was popular to send embroidered silk postcards from the front at Christmas time. These patriotic cards often had mistletoe to symbolize peace and good luck. And the Vikings viewed mistletoe as a plant of peace and goodwill. If enemies met under mistletoe, they were obliged to stop fighting for at least a day. So I mentioned floriography before, and it's the secret language of flowers. It's a symbolic communication through the arrangement of flowers, and different meanings have been attributed to the flowers for thousands of years. Its popularity soared in the Victorian era. Floral arrangements were used to send coded messages, allowing the sender to express feelings which could not be spoken aloud. And this postcard here has forget-me-nots, and it says that forget-me-nots are the emblem of true love. So I have noticed a lot of postcards that have flowers on them. The forget-me-not was very popular. There's a Valentine's Day card with forget-me-nots, as well as bluebirds and horseshoes. And then the card on the right also is showing good luck icons, as well as the forget-me-nots. I also discovered when I was looking for symbols on postcards that there was a language of stamps, and apparently the orientation of the stamp held a coded message. When postcards first came out, people were concerned about the lack of privacy. And so this may have been a way to send a message that got past, actually writing it out. And that way, if other people read the postcard, they had a communication just between the sender and the receiver. And so, as you can tell by the slide, there are a lot of different messages that could be sent by the way that the stamp was positioned. Moving on to the wishbone. The wishbone is a symbol that appears primarily on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's cards. And the wishbone's a fusion of the bird's clavicles above the sternum. Such symbolism doesn't seem to be as popular on today's postcards. And could it be that an animal bone is an unwelcome reminder that it was once a part of a living creature? Postcards from this time period often had graphic depictions of animals that were consumed for the holiday feast. People back then had a closer connection to the food they ate. They understood they were eating animals. Today, we are very removed from the process that gets food to the table. But the Edwardians didn't have a problem seeing bones on their postcard illustrations. And a lot of postcards from this time period show the wishbone with exaggerated proportions. The children on the left look like they might even be struggling holding up that large wishbone. And the card on the right also has a very large wishbone. And this is a little bit unusual in that it's a Valentine's Day card. So we gather that the wishbone was generally a symbol that was accepted as good luck. There are also a lot of postcards that had what I consider ironic humor. Maybe it was or wasn't meant to be at the time, but this is a turkey that's shown with a wishbone in its beak, saying good luck. Well, I guess it was lucky for this turkey because he's still alive. Why did the wishbone come to be good luck in the first place? Well, the Etruscans believed that the birds were oracles and could portend the future. The wishbone was stroked for luck while making a wish. This tradition was passed to the Romans, but birds were more scarce, so they broke the wishbone to share the luck. And the Roman practice of breaking the wishbone into pieces evolved into our modern version of making a wish while pulling it apart. The person who broke off the bigger half would have their wish come true. Here we have two cards with very elegantly dressed people with some oversized wishbones. So I think it was a popular tradition back in the day. I don't know if people today are doing it so much anymore. In keeping with the animal parts theme, many postcards showed the rabbit's foot as a good luck icon. And the rabbit's foot was a good luck charm in many cultures in Europe, Asia, Africa, and North and South America. I will relate the story that seems to sum up the prevailing belief about the luck of the rabbit's foot. And there are a lot of variations on this theme. So the commercial marketing of the rabbit's foot as a good luck charm in Europe began in in a 1908 report from a British promoter who claimed that the rabbit's feet imported from America were killed under very special circumstances. The rabbit was killed at midnight on Friday the 13th in a churchyard cemetery by a cross-eyed, left-handed, red-headed, bow-legged black man who rode a white horse. And in this card, it does look like the man in the card is a black man. It does have the racist trope of his very red lips. And I also noted that it looks like the left hind foot of the rabbit is gone. And that was important because it was the left hind foot that was considered to be the lucky charm. So the unique special circumstances of the setting where the rabbit was killed and the unique physical features of the man are what are supposed to convince us of the special powers of the rabbit's foot. And this leather postcard suggests that red hair is a good luck symbol. But many of the folkloric traditions that I came across viewed it as bad luck. Red hair, like I say, that wasn't familiar to me as good luck. So when I started to research it, it did say that the Irish consider it lucky, and probably most likely due to the higher prevalence of red hair in their population. But the associations of bad luck also were with evil, and red-headed women, of course, were persecuted as witches during the Middle Ages. And historically, people with rare or unusual physical traits were believed to be different or marked, and were believed to have special powers, sometimes for good, but sometimes for bad. So moving on to the shamrock. And that's a very popular symbol, recognizable symbol. And you'll find it not just on St. Patrick's Day cards. And but St. Patrick was the patron saint of Ireland, and he's celebrated for bringing Christianity to pagan Ireland. He used the shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity. And 3 was a significant number for the pre-Christian Irish, and they had many triple deities. So that may be why St. Patrick chose to use the shamrock. And the Druids believed the shamrock could thwart away evil spirits and danger by carrying the shamrock. So here we have a St. Patrick's Day card, a little man with a 4-leaf clover. And the clover is a trifoliate plant, meaning it has 3 leaflets. And the 4-leaf clover is a mutation that occurs 1 in 10,000 normal 3-leaf clovers. So luck has been attributed to it due to this rarity. And it is also believed to ward off evil, and it offers magical protection from bad luck. The leaflets symbolize faith, hope, love, and luck. And here's another popular and recognizable symbol of luck, the leprechaun. He's the magical creature. He's red-haired, a bearded old man about 3 feet tall, and he's a mischievous trickster, a loner who hides. He's a cobbler. He dresses in green, and he has a pot of gold he hides at the end of a rainbow. If you can catch a leprechaun, he will grant you 3 wishes in order for you to set him free. The association with gold goes back to the Danish invasion of Ireland. The legend is that the Danes left leprechauns in charge of the plundered wealth, which they hid in pots all over Ireland. Here are a couple more cards with leprechauns. It was a very popular motif. Moving on to gnomes. Gnomes are another mythical creature, but they live underground, and they're found in German fairy tales and Scandinavian folklore. They are able to move quickly underground, and they're very fond of metals and gems and money, and they guard treasure, and they're associated with luck and longevity, and they protect homes and gardens. And we've got these little gnomes gathering their bags of gold, and they're handing them down from the crescent moon, which is a symbol for luck and wealth and represents new beginnings. And elves are another little magical creature. And elves, fairies, leprechauns, they're all closely related in folklore. Initially, pranks and mischief were associated with elves, and they would take revenge on humans who offended them. They might do that by sickening their cattle. But they got a makeover in the 19th century, and they changed into what we recognize today as much more benign and helpful creatures. So keeping with the metal and gold symbolism here, we've got the card with the little girl gathering pennies. It's a novelty card. It has an actual Indian head penny glued to the front of it. And the little girl is catching pennies that are falling from heaven. But this card is prior to the Bing Crosby song, Pennies from Heaven. That was from 1936. And it's not clear who originated the saying, find a penny, pick it up, all day long, you'll have good luck. But it's not hard to see why finding money would be considered lucky. And it's good luck if you find a penny that's heads up. If it's tails up, it would be unlucky to keep it. So you need to turn it over for the next person to find it. And heads versus tails is symbolic for the battle between good and evil. Here are two more cards with Indian head pennies attached to them. And I was kind of surprised to see how many cards actually still exist that still had the pennies attached to them, that they didn't get taken off and spent. And pennies were popularized as good luck tokens, in case pennies were sold as lucky souvenirs at World's Fairs. Maybe the luck of the penny could also be associated with that ancient belief that metal contained protective properties to ward off evil. So we're continuing with our coin theme, and a lot of coins, a lot of cards show treasure chests with coins. And I noticed that a lot of these cards also had spiders, and I wondered if there was a symbolism there for luck, and it turned out there was. Spiders are believed to bring good luck in many European cultures, and a spider dangling from a web is symbolic of joy and good fortune coming down from heaven. If a spider is in an inconvenient place, if it's successfully moved to a safe spot, money will be gained, but if killed, money will be lost. And there I found a Ukrainian Christmas story that a family had a Christmas tree, but they had no money to decorate it. The children went to bed very sad, but they woke up to find the tree covered in cobwebs. When the morning rays of the sun touched the spider webs, they turned to silver and gold, and the family was no longer poor. This next card also shows coins and the spiders, but also rats. And the rats made this card seem a little creepy to me, but I thought, well, it probably has some symbolism there. So I looked that up, and yes, the rat is a symbol of good luck and fortune in many cultures, and they are considered resourceful because a rat always manages to find something to eat. So another symbol that I didn't know when I first started collecting cards was a symbol of good luck, was the mushroom. And many holiday cards have this mushroom. And the Germans actually call it lucky mushroom or Glückspilz. And it's the Amanita muscaria, or fly agaric, and it has psychoactive properties and has been used by many cultures in spiritual rituals. The Siberian shaman use it to visit the supernatural realm. Several Christmas traditions may have originated from the historic use of this mushroom. So the Amanita muscaria grows in mutualistic symbolism with conifers and functions as an extension of the plant's root system. Part of their luck may be the ability to find them poking through the snow. Here are two cards that show people with mushrooms, and the mushrooms are growing in the snow, and they're near pine trees. The mushroom is toxic if eaten fresh, but can be consumed after drying, and the mushrooms would be placed in tree branches to dry. And the mushrooms also paired with the four-leaf clover, and that's those are two very common good luck symbols in German tradition. And the card on the right shows the mushroom with some ladybugs and other good luck symbols. And ladybugs are good luck symbols because they eat harmful bugs like aphids, but don't harm the plants themselves. So the tradition of decorating a Christmas tree may have started with the practice of hanging the bright red and white mushrooms in the evergreen trees. They had a very festive look. So reindeer also ate the mushrooms, and the psychoactive effect caused them to jump and prance around. The Siberian shaman would drink the urine of the reindeer for the hallucinogenic effect. And folklorists postulate that this may have started the belief in Santa's flying reindeer. The hallucinating tribesmen believed that the reindeer were flying. And the colorful mushrooms may have been the inspiration for Santa Claus's red and white suit. And the Amanita muscaria mushrooms were dried in stockings by the fireplace and then given as Christmas gifts. This may have been the beginning of the tradition of stockings being hung to receive gifts. Many postcards show gnomes with the Amanita mushroom. Nisa, Tomta, Tomta Nisa, or Tontu are names for the Scandinavian gnome, which is widely associated with lucky mushrooms. Gnomes were believed to protect the home, but they were also believed to bring gifts, which included the Amanita muscaria. This is a fanciful card showing pigs riding pigs on a magic mushroom carousel. So pigs accompany a variety of good luck symbols on greeting cards. So how did pigs become a symbol of good luck? And here we have a postcard, a French New Year's postcard illustrated by Xavier Sager. Three nicely dressed women out walking pigs in the snow. How curious. I kept coming across more and more postcards of people out walking pigs in the snow for New Year's and Christmas cards. And here are yet two more. This card illustrates young girls delivering a piglet at Christmas time as a gift. So I finally started to realize, oh, it looks like people are walking the pigs in the snow and possibly giving them away as gifts. Here's some more very positive imagery of pigs at holiday time. And these postcards show holiday revelry with pig iconography, these beautiful ladies. They are clearly meant to illustrate good luck and prosperity. This postcard is showing some women actually washing some pigs. The pig as a sign of luck actually goes back to the Middle Ages. And the pig became a symbol of luck and prosperity because they were very easy to raise. They were omnivorous, they were good breeders, they had large litters, and a person was living well as long as they had some pigs. Pigs could forage for their own food, and they ate a wide variety of plants and even animals, and they were inexpensive to keep. So with this in mind, I was able to start understanding some of the postcards I was coming across. Because pigs were easy to breed, they could be sold for extra income or given as gifts. And so these postcards to me look like people were delivering some pigs as gifts, possibly, or maybe taking them to market to sell. And actually, they're so commonly known as being a symbol of luck in Germany that they will, their expression, our expression, we say someone is a lucky dog, but when they think someone is lucky, they say they're a lucky pig. And these two cards actually are showing pigs indoors with people. Here, the lady is actually feeding some young pigs for whatever reason. Maybe the mama pig wasn't able to feed her litter. And here is a French postcard where the pigs are inside the inn with the people. So they obviously did have a reverence for their pigs. And the pig is, like I said, one of the main good luck symbols in Germany. And a lot of postcards have anthropomorphic pigs. And here just two kind of fanciful postcards with pigs and combination of other good luck symbols, suggesting that they are symbolic for good luck. Moving on, another tradition or ritual for the new year was, in many European traditions, it involved forms of cleaning to start the new year. And so I wouldn't have necessarily understood this postcard on a Christmas card, Lady with a Broom, if I hadn't started researching and finding out that cleansing was a New Year tradition. So the luck of the chimney sweep. So cleaning the hearth and the chimney were part of this New Year ritual of cleaning. And this required the services of the chimney sweep. This card is showing children's sweeps. And this was a reality. Poor children and orphans were employed as sweeps because they could get into the small spaces. But of course, that was very bad for their health. And here's some adult sweeps. And there is a legend attached to why the chimney sweep is lucky. In 1066, a chimney sweep swept King William of Britain safely away from a runaway carriage. The grateful king invited the sweep to his daughter's wedding, where he officially declared chimney sweeps to be lucky. There is a little bit of trouble with this legend because in 1066, the types of chimneys they had were not the type that were later on in houses. And so there were no chimney sweeps as an occupation, but that doesn't stop people from believing in the legend. And that legend has multiple variations. So here, this is not a postcard. This is me, and I am at the Dickens Christmas Fair in San Francisco, and I am with some chimney sweeps. And I was surprised that these actors playing sweeps didn't know that they're about their tradition that they are supposed to be lucky. So they must not have remembered Bert, the chimney sweep from the Mary Poppins movie, or the Chim Chimney song, which sings about their good luck. And it actually says, good luck will rub off when you shakes hands with me. But the tradition of the lucky chimney sweep, it lives on in present day England. And some chimney sweeps have a side business and they rent themselves out to attend weddings to bring good luck with a kiss or a handshake. And here are two cards that I bought online from a dealer in Hungary, and these are Hungarian. And this does suggest that getting a kiss from a chimney sweep is considered good luck. And chimney sweeps are often shown dressed in formal wear, and chimney sweeps were given the worn hand-me-downs of funeral directors and dignitaries. And it was believed that this would give them a sense of pride in their lowly occupation. And this is a card that I like because it has so many good luck icons in there. And the only thing I see missing from here is the lucky Amanita mushroom. But I was thinking maybe that New Year's baby in his red and white suit was supposed to be a personification of the mushroom. And here are two cards that are obviously from a set. or they look to me to be at least from the same illustrator. And it is showing a little chimney sweep. Looks like he's having his pig do some tricks. And I couldn't find anything out about chimney sweeps, pigs, and doing tricks. But pigs are very smart, and apparently they can be trained to do tricks just like dogs. And so maybe they did train them to do tricks. Certainly looks like it from the card. So pigs are often shown with chimney sweeps on cards, and I don't know necessarily why so many chimney sweeps are shown with anthropomorphic pigs. The one on the left seems particularly weird to me with the lady pig in the sweep, but there is a very interesting tradition I happened upon in my research that involves pigs and chimney sweeps. So the lucky pig sweep tradition. In the 19th century in Germany, it was customary for the town chimney sweep to carry a pig through the streets on New Year's Day, and people would come out from their homes to pay a small sum to the sweep to make a wish while pulling a hair from his pig. And so that does look like what's going on in this particular postcard. Looks like the lady is going to be coming up to him to make this wish. And I thought that this was a very unusual luck tradition. And I was so happy to come across it because a lot of the cards seem to be suggesting that that's what this is going on. These two cards, they are also Hungarian, I believe. And it looks like maybe these chimney sweeps with their pigs are engaging in this ritual of letting people make a wish by pulling a hair off of the pig. So we'll move on to a different symbol, and that is the swastika. So this postcard, it has many good luck symbols. Excuse me. It even has the Vulcan greeting on there. If you're a Trekkie fan, live long and prosper. May you live long and prosper. But it also has a symbol that for many of us is not necessarily associated with good luck, and that is the swastika. So, but it is a symbol found in many early civilizations, including the Greeks, the Celts, and the Anglo-Saxons. And the swastika means good fortune in Sanskrit. So a lot of historians postulate that there may have been a recurring comet that resembled this configuration to explain how so many unrelated cultures had the swastika. They were able to view it in the night sky. In the early 20th century, the swastika was a popular symbol, and it was used in advertising, designs, and it graced many postcards. The symbol is of 4 conjoined L's, and they stand for light, life, love, and luck. And people were inspired by its positive associations. And even the Girl Scouts of America called their magazine the swastika. But the swastika was appropriated by the Nazi Party as an Aryan symbol to create a sense of ancient lineage of the German people. And the orientation was changed so that one of the L's is then shifted upward. And even though the Nazis were kicked out of the Netherlands in 1945, and this card is a representation of Victory in Europe Day. After World War II, the swastikas were no longer popular on good luck symbols on postcards, because for most people, the meaning just had too horrific association. So we'll move on to black cats. And here we have some black cats in a pot. And that's the symbol surprised me that it was believed to be good luck. Are they good luck or bad luck? They certainly seem to be good luck symbols on Edwardian postcards. Black cats were sacred in Celtic mythology, and Scotic lore held that they would bring prosperity to a new home. And British sailors believed they brought good weather. And some traditions believe that black cats were associated with being lucky in love. A black cat would bring many suitors to an unmarried young lady. But apparently this young lady is not relying on her black cat's mojo. She's taking matters into her own hands and advertising for Mr. Right. Maybe this was a precursor to online dating. And here are two more cards with lucky black cats. And just to note that the one on the right has a cross-eyed sweep. So once again, the unusual physical characteristics and the belief that someone with unusual characteristic might have some special powers. Here's two more black cat postcards. The translation on the left is "Laugh at the new year. It may be beautiful and fortunate for you." And the French actually called black cats matagot, magician cats. The card on the right, I got it for the postcard and the pillar box, and I never would have known that the cat, being a black cat, was supposed to be the luck in the card. This card shows an old crone with a black cat, and it's a New Year's postcard, but a black cat with an old crone is often a trope for a witch. Witches were feared in the Middle Ages, and it was believed that black cats were their familiars. So they were associated with evil and bad luck. But even many Halloween postcards have positive images of black cats. Halloween used to be a time of high romance and an opportunity to find a future mate through playing party games. So many cards kept the messages lighthearted. And here we have a black cat who's going to keep the goblins away. Many Halloween postcards show attractive witches with black cats and black cats that will bring luck, finding true love. Even this traditional witch with her two black cats seems much less menacing, sitting under a giant gold horseshoe. And it's suggesting that the witch and her cats could be bringing good luck on Halloween night. And here are two more Halloween cards that have black cats that have positive imagery. The one on the left, "Don't scat a black cat, and your wish will surely come right." And the one on the right, looks to me like that little black cat is actually smiling. Move on to the Billiken. And this good luck charm was completely new to me. I knew nothing about this little guy. And so these postcards really got my curiosity. Then this little guy, the postcard says, "Grin and begin to win," the Billiken. And the Billiken was a Lucky Charm doll created by art teacher Florence Pretz of Kansas City. And it was actually created to profit from the popular mind cure philosophy that was introduced in 1902 by William James. It promoted the religion of healthy mindedness. And this was a Christmas card. "I am the source of luckiness. Observe my twinkling eye. Success is sure to follow those who keep me closely by." And this mind cure promoted the power of positive thinking as an all-saving power. Optimism could cure illness, bring luck and prosperity. And the Billiken good luck charm became a global cult in a short amount of time and was very heavily marketed with merchandise, postcards, statues, jewelry, and dolls. And the Billiken doll was introduced in 1909. 200,000 dolls were sold in the first 6 months. It was promoted as lucky to buy one, but luckier to get one as a gift. So it was basically a little monkey-like creature with short arms and pointy ears. He had a teddy bear-like body, cashing in on the teddy bear craze, and a composite head. And it promised 99 years of good luck. The Royal Order of Jesters, a Shriners group associated with Freemasons, adopted the Billiken as their mascot. And the card on the right shows some ladies that may have been associated with Freemason, it looks like, and the little girl has a Billiken doll. So these cards just show how popular and ubiquitous this idea of the Billiken was. The card on the left is British. The one in the middle is actually, they're making fun of Theodore Roosevelt, and he had turned down a chance to run for a third term, and he went on an African safari. And so that shows him in Egypt, it looks like, and it is showing him saying one of his catchphrases, delighted. And the card on the right, if you look up on the desk, there is a little Billiken on the shelf. But it faded to obscurity as a good luck charm in just a few years. And I'm thinking that probably some of the reasons why it didn't continue was it wasn't an organic belief that rose from a cultural practice. It was manufactured and promoted. And it was also based on some flawed science that all you had to do was think positively and you could cure your health problems. And of course, at the time, you know, with the Spanish flu, that was very devastating. And then with World War I, it's probably why all this positive thinking cult may have faded. Another symbol, here's a leather card that has leather applique, says good luck, and it shows an old shoe. And I have found a lot of old shoes on postcards, but maybe a little bit more difficulty with the association with luck. There are a lot of references that I came across from literature, like this one, and home again, hitherwards, quick as a bee, now for good luck, cast an old shoe after me. And that's John Haywood, 1598. But I had more difficulty finding out why they thought the shoe would give you luck. But I also see it on postcards, often combined with white heather. So white heather, and it's a botanical symbol of Scotland. Heather is usually some shade of purple, but white heather is more rare, like the four-leaf clover. Its luck is derived from its rarity, and it's also associated with battles, and it was believed that it grows on the ground where no blood has been shed. Okay, so there's also a legend associated with its luck. In the 3rd century AD, Melvina, the daughter of Scottish poet Ossian, received a bouquet of purple heather, along with the news that her beloved Oscar had died in battle. Her tears turned the purple flowers white. She declared, though it is a symbol of my sorrow, may white heather bring good fortune to all who find it. So here's another legend where tears turn the color of some plant or flowers. And so another symbol that we sometimes find in postcards is the symbol of the rainbow. And it's one of the more everlasting good luck symbols. And it also symbolizes hope and promise. Of course, there's the Bible story of the great flood. A rainbow appears to Noah, and it signifies a promising future. In Norse mythology, it's the bridge between the mortal and the immortal world. In this card, which is of celebrating the American Legion, the rainbow has been adopted as a symbol or change for many social movements, including the peace and anti-war movements. And here we see the rainbow with the image of San Francisco, and the rainbow became the symbol of LGBTQ pride. In 1978, Harvey Milk asked artist Gilbert Baker to create a symbol for gay pride, and he designed the first rainbow flag. So it was these types of cards ones with many, many symbols on them that helped me to understand how many symbols were meant as good luck charms. These cards showed symbols I recognized, but then also showed ones that I didn't. And here are some more. Here are 3 more cards with multiple symbols on them. And I just want to note that the card on the right has a little bowl of goldfish. And I did not talk about all of the good luck symbols that are found on cards, for there are many. And I just talked about the prevalent ones I came across. Obviously, they skew toward North American and European traditions and beliefs. But of course, other cultures have a rich history of luck, and that was not covered in my presentation. These 2 final cards with good luck symbols, they show 2 young boys riding on pigs, and I haven't discovered if there's any special meaning associated with riding pigs. It makes me think of the expression living high on the hog, which of course meant eating the best cuts of meat from the pig, but that expression came later in the 20th century. Perhaps it's just a metaphor for riding into the new year full of luck and prosperity. And I particularly like the mail carrier on the right, because along with the letters, there are postcards falling from his little mail bag. So that is concludes my program today.
Fantastic job. That was wonderful. Thank you very much, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren.
Okay. Well, I hope that wasn't, I know it's a heck of a lot of information. So
it was fascinating. Thank you.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was fun to research.
Thank you.
Well, I've been looking forward to this all day long, I tell you, because the last presentation you made that I saw, I forgot about a lot of it. And I know that Ron, for example, was asking about the pigs at the show that we were at together. And I said, I know there's something there, but I can't remember what it is. So anyway, so you answered his question, which is great. Thank you.
The last, well, when I went to Hal's paper show, one of the San Francisco members came up to me and said, now I'm seeing all these postcards that I understand what they mean.
Yeah, yeah, no fooling. It helps a lot. Helps a lot, that's for sure. Oh, you did a wonderful job, and I can't thank you enough. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I'm sure everybody else did too. Anybody have any questions they'd like to ask? Please feel free.
One funny thing I noticed.
Oh, go ahead.
One funny thing I noticed in the 1910, 1909, with the airship and the car. 1910 was also on a tombstone looking thing on the new year.
Oh,
Did you notice that?
well,
I thought that was a wee bit odd because, you know, like the new year, but then there was this foreshadowing almost.
it was on the 1910 part.
Yes, with
Okay.
the airship.
It wasn't on the year going out.
No,
Mhm.
yeah, it said 1910 and on the tombstone.
I noticed that too. That was interesting.
I
Yeah.
never noticed that. Because I would have thought that the tombstone would have been on the year going out.
Yeah, that's what I would have
Okay.
thought too.
I'll have to.
Unless it's a foreshadowing of the circle.
I'll have to go back and look at that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Walt. I see you have a question.
Yeah, is anything, Lauren, about the Gullywog, the little black doll that's on a lot of holiday cards? It's usually in the Santa cards, where it's up in the gift bag of a Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall any?
Does he have an association with luck? Do you know?
I don't know if it associated with luck or anything. It just was a symbol. I
Yeah,
don't know what it really reflected, but uh, that's about all I know.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know that I don't have any of those cards, and so I've come across it, but I guess I was kind of trying to focus more on the ones that had, a close association with good luck. But I'll have to look
Sure,
into that.
sure. Okay.
Roseanne, I know you had a question. Go ahead, please.
My question is actually more of a statement. Lauren, as you were showing the old boots, is that why at weddings people would tie boots to the bride and groom's car?
The boot one, I know that they tie it to the car. And there was something I remember in researching that it was actually something about transferring male authority to they're transferring authority to the man. I was like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. And so I couldn't really find some of the stuff I found out about the shoe was kind of macabre. Like people find old shoes in the walls of houses. And so they were saying that when people are, back in the day when people died, they were often either buried in the house or very near the house. And that was to keep away ghosts and spirits and whatnot. And so that gradually morphed into, well, they were going to actually bury the people in their house or near their home, morphed into the shoe was the closest thing to a body part because it, was the form of the foot. And so they would just take the shoe to represent the body to put in the house to keep away the evil spirits and the ghosties. But, that really wasn't a luck thing, but that was the closest thing that I could find about the shoe. And then, yeah, I was having a hard time finding out why the shoe was attached to the, it's just part of that shoe. I think journey and good luck, there's some association, but I was having a hard time finding it in the Google search.
And I just want to say, my black cat wants everyone to know she's lucky. She doesn't bring bad luck, she brings good luck.
Well, my orange cat interrupted my show and I had to go throw her outside. She was bad luck for me.
See?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Patrick. I see you have.
Hi. Yeah, I was going to make a comment on the little kids or the New Year's kids with the hats. So this is a corkscrew. This is from
Mr. Dry.
Yeah, well, he's actually called Old Snifter,
Oh.
and he is from the Prohibition era, and he's actually was my understanding, he was a senator that was all into Prohibition, and so he was a target that people were all into,
mocked him.
And mocked, and so that's, he was the true Mr. Dry.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, and I think he was from the late 20s and into the 30s, all, with all the Prohibition and stuff.
Yeah.
But he was a real person.
Hey.
And this is a corkscrew from that time. There's a couple of different types of these corkscrews. There's about 3 different ones of these. So, and this is just one of them.
That's fantastic.
So I just wanted to
sharing.
share that with you and, give you that history about it.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I also like that it will open a bottle cap.
Yeah, he covers all the bases there.
What was it that it said on the base of that man?
It says Old Snifter, Snifter, and I don't that was the name I don't remember his exact name. This was from my father's collection that I have acquired recently.
I'm gonna
So,
research that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Old Snifter maybe could that have been a brand of liquor at that time? Do you think?
No, no, it's not. It's
Okay.
it's based on this particular person.
Okay.
So I've this corkscrew and two other versions of it. I've had this around. They've been around in my life, my whole life. This is from my dad's collection, and like I said, I recently acquired it through unfortunate circumstances. So, but
That's a
yeah,
wonderful thing. And having stuff like that
Yeah.
passed down makes it even more special. That's great, Patrick.
yeah.
That's
So
great.
anyway,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, I'd like to ask, thank you so much. This is so interesting. I have three questions, if that's not too much. Well, one is about seeing many anchors as a symbol. Another symbol I see a lot is bells, especially in Christmas, but maybe that's church related. And the last thing I wanted to ask, which is most interesting to me, is the origin of Father Time, and compared or the resemblance, of course, to Grim Reaper, which and mostly with Father Time, he doesn't seem very morbid or macabre. He actually looks pretty nice in those postcards, although he does have, I'm sorry, I forgot the word for the tool that he uses.
The scythe, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I know. I was thinking of that too. I didn't mention it because I know my program's pretty long and information packed. But for me, I sometimes even confuse the Grim Reaper with Father Time because of that scythe. And I didn't do a deep dive into the scythe. You know, it's got symbolism associated there. But yeah, I mean, obviously the Grim Reaper is way more associated with death, and I think Father Time is it's just, you know, the end of the year dying, as opposed to maybe actual people getting harvested by the Grim Reaper. But yeah, I've made that connection to that scythe with both the Grim Reaper and Father Time. Is kind of like, oh, I should probably look into that a little bit more. I've not really seen anything about bells. I didn't check into bells in terms of having an association with luck. And the anchor, I think the anchor is on the cards, but it seemed to me that it kind of had more hope associated with it, some other symbolism. So I kind of didn't, I sort of let that one, I didn't include that one. So.
Thank you. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Spina,
Yes,
you
I can hear you
had
now.
a
Thank you.
question.
Very nice presentation, Lauren.
Oh, thank you. Whoops.
Thinking maybe that the Grim Reaper has the scythe representing something with death, but maybe Father Time has the scythe for cutting of the wheat, which might be positive, might be a
Yes.
good luck thing, gaining wheat. So that's what I saw that as when I first saw that postcard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thank you.
My pleasure.
I've always looked at the Father Time as sort of a natural cycle, like a natural harvest time, which is a natural process, versus the Grim Reaper, sort of the unexpected. But I've always heard, you see my name, bells being luck. And I remember at my former house, and actually at this house too, I've got a bell out in the yard that you can ring. And I remember a neighbor kid came to my door, knocked on the door and asked if I could ring the bell for his grandmother who was sick. and
Oh,
he'd heard that that ringing the bell could bring good luck, and I let him go out in the backyard and ring the bell for it. And there's a wee twist to the story. Not long after that, the kid himself came down with type 1 diabetes and got very sick and was sort of life and death because he hadn't been diagnosed. And when I heard it, I went out and rang the bell for him. And when he got better, and he did, I told him. And you could tell, I think he was maybe 5 years old or something like that, but you could tell it meant something to him that I did it, and I told him about it. But
that's
yeah,
a beautiful story.
yeah.
That's beautiful. I love it. I'm going to have to look into that. I just was kind of going off on, things that I found on the postcards, and but certainly I would love to, research the luck associated with bells. And of course, bells being in churchyards and our churches, and being rung for certain things, it probably is, association there. So that's great.
Yes, sir, Patrick, go ahead.
Sorry, so I know it's getting late, but on the bell thing, there's two little references I was going to say. One in Miracle on the 38th Street, or
With Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, and they say every time a bell rings, the angel gets its wings.
Oh,
That's one.
Yeah.
And then another one in motorcycle culture, especially with the big, Harleys and stuff. You have to have one rider give another rider and put it on their motorcycle a bell, a small bell, and that bell wards off harm and injury and so forth for another rider. And it's interesting, Joe Spina and I think Shaw, Joe Coleman.
Yeah.
So Joe Coleman didn't have a bell on his bike, and I told him, hey, what's going on with that bike there? And I actually got him a bell. It was a pretty nice one too. Put it on his bike, and it was a matter of a few months later, he had a pretty serious accident, and he ended up breaking his neck and a bunch of other stuff. And he said he felt like, he doesn't know, but he felt like having that bell on there made a difference for him, and it saved his life. We don't know. I mean, but he said something else happened for him that day beyond things. And so if that's what's going on and in your belief and in your head when something like that's going on, then that's all to you. So, and he has sold that bike now, so
I'll bet he did.
Yeah, but at any rate, so there are things in the luck process with Bell, and probably Robert's very lucky to have that last name.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That's interesting. There you go. Now we can hear you.
Okay, Lauren, where did you get all those European cards? Have you gone around in Europe to the postcard shows, like in Paris?
Yes.
Where did you get them all?
Well, prior to COVID, I have actually gone to Paris quite a few times to the cart expos. They used to have a cart expo twice a year. And I went to a show once in London at the Bloomsbury. So, and I do buy cards online too, on eBay. But yes, I went to Cart Expo and some dealers in Paris and the Paris flea market. So yeah, I've gotten quite serious about the whole thing.
So wonderful collection. Wonderful collection.
Thank you.
I'm going to look at my collection now and see what I can find with those symbols.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
Well, thank you very much to everybody for for being here tonight, and I hope you enjoyed the show half as much as I did. I've been, like I said, I've been looking forward to this all week. So it's great. And Lauren and I even had a practice session so that we were kind of sure that things were going to go smoothly tonight. And by God, they did. So that's a good thing. So anyway, thanks very much.
My Wi-Fi
Lauren.
held out.
Yeah. And thanks to all you folks back east for sticking with us and staying awake this long. Anyway, have a good evening, everybody. It's good to see you all.